rape, okay? I pay them.
Sit girls plot their revenge in the most horrific way. Please subscribe and like the video. The film opens with two men driving around recording girls and offering money for interviews. After they get in the car, he offered them money for porn video. All agreed, but after they finish, he stole their money and drove off. Later we see two journalists, Mark and Susan, meet up with the guys who shoot porn for interview for their magazine article. They refuse camera inside their van, so Mark decides to go by his own. They introduce themselves as John porn star and Steve director and cameraman. Steve told them they go around looking for girls and shoot porn with them. He starts his interview with question like, how much money do they make and what got them into the industry? They respond with sarcastic answers. Steve said they pick up random girl and they offer them money, then they shoot porn, they don't do any rehearse. Steve said he was blessed with persuading girls to take their clothes off and have sex on camera. Then they met two girls on street and Steve offers some money for question. The girls hubs in the van and introduced theirself as Sam and Beth. But when Steve started recording, he said to Beth she looks familiar, but she said they never met before. The guys offer them money for the girls to make out. When the girl hesitate, Steve convinced them to do it. They agreed and made out. But Beth said they need to go somewhere else if they want to shoot porn. All agreed and they start to drove to forested area. Mark asked them how they are willing to say yes. The girls said they will do anything for money. Sam start to take her clothes off, and when Steve ordered Beth to take her clothes off, all of a sudden Beth pull out a gun and order everyone to not move. But when Steve tried to fight, in the midst of the struggle she shot John dead, and she knocked out Steve with her gun. Steve and Mark woke up, both tied up. Beth kicked Steve and said, "Did you believe in karma? Well, that is exactly what is happening to you." Mark told them he is not one of them. He is just New York journalist who is doing an article. They put Steve in the van, and Beth ordered Mark to stand up and take him somewhere else. And again Beth asked him what he was doing here. He told her the guys paid his company for exposure and he was ordered to do an article about them. He tried to convince her to let him go, but she refused, saying every men are the same. Steve asked Sam to help him with his eye. She wiped it for him, and he asked her what is going on. She said she just got along, that she doesn't know anything. Meanwhile, Mark keep asking to let him go. Also said if Steve ever hurt her they can do an article about it that will bring a lot of attention. But Beth also took Mark to the van and closed it. Mark tried to listen to what Sam and Beth was talking, but can't hear anything. Mark told Steve he don't think she planned to kill them, so they have to play cool to not force her to do that. Steve tried to grab his gun, but it was locked. He then started to scream for help. When the girls come, he kicked Sam and run off, but Mark get caught. Beth leaves Sam with Mark and told her to use their taser if he tried to escape and leave to find Steve. She draw her gun and start looking for Steve. Beth shout out his name, date of birth. Steve, after running for a while, he hid behind the tree and grabbed stick to hit Beth with it. When Beth comes to the place, Steve hit her with stick and she drop her gun. After struggle, Beth kick him down the bridge. Meanwhile, Sam told Mark that Beth approached her and asked for her help. She said she didn't think it was going to be like this. Mark offered to help each other out, but Sam said she just wants Steve. Beth comes with Steve and confront them. Sam said she hadn't told him anything. Beth ordered her to tie them up together, and they start to drive to deeper forest. On their way they see hikers. Steve hit them, which lead to crush. Beth then start to beat up Steve, but the hiker heard the crush and start to walk towards them to check. Sam came out and said they are fine. Beth also comes out and told them to leave and that everything is fine, but when the couple was about to leave, Beth knocked both out and shoots them dead. Then Beth covered both men's face and ordered them to take some drug. She said they are making a video. She first told Steve to say his full name and to say he is rapist. But Steve said he haven't raped anyone. She asked him how many girls he raped. He said it was not rape, he paid them. She then asked him if he ever raped anyone when he was in college. He said no, then she tossed him. She said if ever used THP drug. He first say no, but eventually said he only used it with one girl. Then we see flashback of Steve and other guys bringing unconscious girl to a room where they raped her and said he upload them to his website. She start to beat him up and order him say bad thing about him in the camera. All of a sudden someone shoot Beth. The guy orders Sam to not move and ask everyone to show their hand. He check for her pulse. He then gives Mark a gun, but Beth wakes up and shoot the guy in the leg. Mark took the guy's phone and goes to look for signal. He couldn't find any signal. Beth start to look for a guy who was hiding. She finds him. He told her she must be so good. She said he is helping the wrong people and said those guys deserve everything. She then shoot him dead. Mark start to call for help, but there was bad signal. Also Beth shoot the phone off him and she shoot him dead. Steve then wakes up and strangles Sam, but she kissed him and seduced him to have sex with her. He agreed, but Beth come and knocked him out again. She then confront her, but Sam said that is the only way out. Sam asked about Mark. Beth told her he was dead, but Steve took out his gun and shoot Beth dead. Steve think everything was over and drop his gun. Sam comes with gun and told him Beth didn't find her, she found her, and kick him in the head. Steve wakes up. Sam then tell him she knows him at college party. She was at high school at that time, and John gives her drink and she doesn't remember anything else. And she wakes up sore the next day and feels sick. But she hear about the tape 3 days later. It was all over the campus. But they just moved on to the next girl when she hear they are shooting, and she couldn't forget about them. And said Beth was sexually assaulted in the military, and they met and planned for their revenge. She then cuts off his tongue, and some girl comes and they drove together.